Hi, my friends. Welcome back to the Sussex Daily News version 2 YouTube channel tonight. This video, we update a piece of breaking news. Royal author gnashed Harry for lost royal titles and blamed Meghan Markle for this sad ending. Do Meghan Markle and Prince Harry actually want to be stripped of their titles? Donald Trump is not my favorite person, but I couldn't help feeling a certain grudging admiration for the old dunderhead last week. Asked what he thought of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex decision to interfere in the U.S. presidential election. He just gave a worried smile and said, "I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it." Mr. Trump doesn't always have a great way with words, but even the sternest critic would have to concede that, on this occasion, he displayed an admirable flash of wit. A member of the British royal family, a scion of empire, telling Americans how to vote in their own elections. Good luck with that, Harry. Because, of course, the Yanks famously love being bossed around by pampered English princes. Look how well it turned out for George III. Seriously, though, if Harry and Meghan hope to boost Grandpa Biden's poll ratings, they may well have just shot themselves in the Milanos. If there's one thing guaranteed to get your average red-blooded Republican off straight to the polling booth, it's the sight of a couple of entitled celebrities accusing them of being ignorant hate mongers from the comfort of an £11 million mansion. At home, too, this intervention marks a turning point in the increasingly toxic soap opera of Harry and Meghan. Because what the prince has just done break the cardinal rule of British royalty, that is to say, openly intervene in not just an election, but a foreign election, takes the growing rift between him and the palace, to borrow a term from the American military, to DEFCON 3. It would appear to be, and I'm increasingly certain of this, a deliberate act of aggression designed to leave the Queen with no choice but to strip the pair of their royal titles. Such an act would play perfectly to their imagined narrative of always being the victims. The speed with which Harry has gone from being the most relatable member of the royal family to someone who appears intent on not only rejecting everything the institution stands for, but doing his utmost to undermine it, is astonishing. It had already become clear, even before he met Meghan, that the prince was struggling to find his feet as a royal. He harbored a lot of pent-up resentment not only towards the constraints of the institution itself, but also towards his family for the way his mother had been treated. I don't think it was any coincidence that he chose as his bride a woman who was always going to struggle with the restrictions of the monarchy. He wanted out, whether he realized it fully or not, and Meghan was his ticket. Had he married some honking Camilla content to push a pram around Windsor while wearing a pair of willies and a parbour, he would have been forever trapped in the role of spare, relegated to a life in brother's shadow. Also ran like his uncle Andrew. Meghan was never going to put up with that kind of life. That was abundantly clear right from the start to anyone with eyes in their head. This way he gets to find freedom and sock it to the institution which it is increasingly apparent he despises. No more dreary, wet weekends pressing the flesh with commoners for Harry. It's all Netflix and chia seeds now. And the fact that by his actions he is boxing his family, and with it long-suffering Granny, into a corner is just the cherry on the cake. So, yes, Mr. Trump is right to wish Harry luck. After all, it's a huge gamble he's taking. I just hope the poor, deluded boy knows what he's letting himself in for. Indeed, many fans also mocked Harry. Both Meghan for that, a fan wrote. If Harry resented his family and is jealous of his brother, he should have left quietly and followed his dreams. No one would have held that against him. Instead, he used his hatred to humiliate his family and build a career in Hollywood. He said, "We aren't celebrities," when giving an interview in 2017 referring to himself and his family. Turns out he is a celebrity, a bitter and vindictive one. We never really know who public figures are in private, and this one was a real shocker. If he had said from the outset he wanted to leave royal life, go and live in LA as a private citizen with his wife, I think the public would have embraced it. They would have had celeb status every time they came back to wave and strut around a red carpet. But no, Meg sold him on the plan to build a royal brand and use the taxpayers' money and the whole RF to become roving royals. Big mistake, and show zero respect for another country's traditions and culture. Regardless of what you feel about the monarchy, it is central to British history and culture. I doubt she would support other cultures being disrespected in this way. Another fan added, whether or not that Harry and his venal wife want to be stripped of their HRH titles and patronage, they should be removed because they have insulted the Queen and country, betrayed their families in their soulless pursuit of power, fame, and fortune, and interfered in U.S. politics while using their royal titles. They are greedy hucksters who have no allegiance to duty, family, or country. They are hypocritical grifters whose arrogance, narcissism, and rudeness have no bounds. Mad Megs thinks someone died and appointed her God and master of the universe. Her grandiose delusions are frightening, and she used trapping a rich, stupid royal into marriage as her ticket to world infamy. Hapless is just terminally stupid. His qualifications, education would make it hard for him to get a job as the manager of retail store. No university degree and only a D in an academic subject. McDonald's would hire him as a shift leader. His jealousy and petulance is not from, oh, they were mean to mommy. It is pure sibling rivalry as he resents his brother who is smarter and who will be king. But a royal fan wrote on Tumblr, sadly the Queen is at fault here. These two insult the House of Windsor at every turn, yet Her Majesty and Prince Charles still give them whatever they want. They still have their titles, including President and VP of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, their taxpayer-funded security, and their home, designer clothing, wigs, weaves, hair transplants, private jet yachts, and petty, obscenely expensive lawsuits, amongst other things, are still being bankrolled by Charles and Her Majesty. How much more does the royal family expect the public to take of this nonsense? The public, the country, and the Commonwealth deserve better from the monarch and the heir to the throne. Both would be wise to remember how the public turned on the monarchy after Diana's death and would be foolish to think it cannot happen again. Enough is enough. Her Majesty and Prince Charles must end this farce now. The future of the monarchy depends on it. And in Explain from Quora, they hate the monarchy as it holds them accountable for the privileges they enjoy, but it doesn't fit their liberal ideas. Yet they are happy to ride off the back of it to get the fame, fortune, power, and influence that she particularly craves. If they are stripped of their titles, honors, ranks, and patronages, which I feel they are goading the establishment to do. They will act like martyrs, be blaming everyone other than themselves for the position they forced themselves into. They want to gorge on freebies without accountability or responsibility. The only thing that will work will be for the British press to completely ignore them, to push them into an anonymous existence, or for them to be summoned to the UK, where in the presence of every senior working royal, where they will get the benefit of a very straight one-sided conversation and ask for the keys to Frogmore, which as crown property can be repurposed to raise revenue. For me, I agree with royal expert that they are so intent on being victims of the big bad monarchy that they would almost glory in having their titles stripped. Also, it's a bit rich that they want to show up at Christmas and at Trooping the Color to recharge that royal connection they are cashing in on. I think the smart play for the Queen is to force the British government to intervene to remove the titles. Harry is a simpleton indeed if he thinks commenting on an American election is a good idea. Harry could have found a wife who was happy to be a military wife and then worked hard to go into, say, a training role in the military. Then he could have had a more or less normal life within the UK where security would have been paid for and he would have at least had some valued and worthwhile connection to the military. Instead, he's about to be a pariah in Hollywood with his 1B level word salad and ex-wife to be. And you, what do you think about them? Leave me your opinion in the comment section below and we discuss them together. If you see my videos so useful for everyone, don't be afraid to like and share it for them. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you see Sussex Daily News first time. Now good night and see you tomorrow.